Yeah. Okay, so not only you all lah. So me too. Okay, so today we will do the tutorial for our chapter 8 last week. Last week we have covered last week we have covered about user interface. Then today we should discuss the tutorial 8 lah. And then because I don't want to waste a lot of time, so I already chose 5 lucky student to answer. I can see that nobody turned in the tutorial, but I hope that you all, even though you didn't turn in, but you already answer lah. Okay, so you all can see the name from the from this document. So for questions one, I will ask only each of these questions. I will only ask one student. Okay, so because I don't want to waste a lot of time in this tutorial, because today you all will do the last part in your assignment, which is the user interface. Okay, so questions one, Jingming Lim. Questions two, Celine. Questions three, Kelvin. Four, Farah. Five, Russell. Okay, the lucky student. Okay, so I still will give you all time for about 10 minutes. So we start discuss at 9:15. Yeah, 9:15 lah, about 9 minutes. Okay, so your if your answer must relate to whatever scenario that is asked in the questions lah, huh? Okay, so I will give 10 minutes until 9:15 before we discuss. Okay, so Russell is not here. So I will change the questions number 5 to Nyap Hawong lah. Awong. Okay. Hi, morning, Celine. Celine, you are tasked to answer questions number 2, ah. So we will start discuss on 9:15 a.m. Wong, your answer terputus. Yeah, yeah. Because our Google Meet chat, it it has limited number of character lah for you to send in one time. So when you answer, I want you to turn on your mic lah. So for those who are not uh, answering questions, is this week very um there's a is it very chaos for all of you because of the assignment? Is there a lot of assignment that you all need to submit for this week? Can tell me while your friends are looking for the answer. Ivan lah, I will ask. Nobody wants to. I think Eddie only. Oh, Eddie. Object oriented analysis and design. So it's not that tough lah for this week because yeah, I understand that starting weeks 12 until 14. Oh, yeah. Um and I want to announce like I will not announce, remind you all. Next week you all will need to submit your full assignment for this software engineering and then also do the presentation. Our last presentation. So um next week lah you all will be busy for this software engineering. And this week also lah. But yeah, since you all said for Wong lah, for Wong class is already. I'm not sure about the other class. Noel also is not here. Kelvin and Pharaoh only. Who else? Huh? How about Jonathan Group? Yeah, Jonathan. Is your group have a lot of assignment to answer? To submit? Your group lah. I mean, you are from RSD. You are not same with Farah group, right? Oh, same with Wong. Oh. Because there are two group, right? In this RSD, group 1 and group 2. Group Farah and group you all lah. All 6 when all 6/7. Huh? Kelvin? Oh, okay. So Kelvin, you all uh your subject for this semester is 7 and then all of the 6 need to be submitted this week. Oh, oh. So not all will need to be submitted this week lah because SE will be next week. Okay, so let me see who already gave the answer. Kelvin already, Wong already. Okay, Jonathan. Yes, during our practical time, because during our practical time, we should have the discussion lah, discussion and feedback. Okay, so I we on there's 1 minute left. Okay, so remember to follow the guide, the format, the format of the assignment, like what type of font, how many the spaces, um the format that is given from the assignment lah. So I will show again the assignment na. The assignment, what I meant by the format is like this lah. The report must be in MS Word, must be soft copy, font size 12, must use Times New Roman, use justify alignment, 1.5 line space, use appropriate header and footer, page numbering, and then F4 size. Okay, so I can see that Wong already answer and Kelvin. Wong and Kelvin. Okay, so Kelvin is questions number 3. Furious Movies Cinema is approaching your company to implement an online cinema ticketing system, suggest and explain 4 good user interface design principle to the system to ensure screen usability. So yeah, Kelvin, can you please open your mic?
Okay. Where's my answer? Yeah. The need for principle. The first principle is the familiarity. So we should use terms that are they are drawn from a concept experience, like the movie. They easy to understand the words, like the button got say buy ticket, or the button search movie or cancel ticket. Those things or refund ticket. And then the
Okay,
second
for the
one,
other student like Farah Celine and Jingming Lim, please prepare with your answer. Yes, Kelvin, please
second
open
one,
your mic.
huh? You all here? Hello? Miss cannot hear. Hello, Miss, cannot hear?
Oh, cannot to. Why? Oh, sorry ya. I I actually I didn't hear anything from the previous from our when we started our class. I think this one lah. Wait I cabut all of this apa. I think that's because of. Can you all hear my voice now?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. That's because of the new headphone. Astaga, tutupun. So, maybe if you all have said something from the previous when we started our class kan, I didn't hear tuh. Okay, so wait, I just can hear my own. Yeah. Hello, can you all please make some noise?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear already. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, Kelvin, can you please?
Yeah. The first one is the user familiarity. We should use the terms
Mm-hmm.
that are related to the experience, like the movie need a you can understand the easy to understand the buy ticket, search movie, and then the cancel ticket buttons.
Mm, yes, correct. Okay.
Second one is consistency. Wherever possible, the operation should be activated the same way. Like uh, the words is all the same, and maybe the buttons also in the same position.
Okay. Yes, correct.
The third one is a minimal surprise. So the user should never be surprised by the behavior, like something they don't understand happening. For example, it's like suddenly pop up and you click something unrelated. Those things.
Okay. Yes. Yes, correct. And then.
The fourth one is user guidance, like provide help features and minimum feedback when error occur, like the when you input the IC format or the credit card number wrong. It will ask you to write in the correct format. Like those things.
Okay. Yes, correct. So yeah, I know. Everyone just answer like that. Like what Kelvin have answer. Okay. So whenever you answer, put the point and then your explanation must be related to the scenario. So this in this case it is movie ticket. So whenever you give example, use the movie ticket as the example. So these are the suggested answer. You all can see, huh? But this one is I think Kelvin answer is better lah because here it is only telling whatever in our slide. But Kelvin answer is better. So you all uh, need to answer like Kelvin answer. Your example must be from the movie ticket scenario. Okay, so you all can screenshot this or apalah to make it as your uh, alternative answer. Okay, so we proceed to the questions number 2. Sorry. Who else yang sudah? Wong. We proceed to Wong lah. Yes, Wong?
Hi, Miss.
Hi.
For the question 5, first is user guidance.
Mm-hmm.
The system should be designed in such a way that it provides help messages or feedback to users at times when required. For example,
Mm-hmm.
the system should guide the users on what they should do to contact their sales representatives at times when they have clicked on the wrong button.
Yes, correct.
Next, recoverability.
Mm-hmm.
The system should allow users to recover from the errors they have made. For example, the system should allow the user to undo their action in situations where they have contacted their sales representative by accident with no intention to contact them.
Okay, yes, correct.
The other one is user familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
The system should be designed in a way that users are familiar with the functions or the concept of how the system works from their past experience. For example, the system should include necessary functions such as the live chat feature or frequently asked questions feature that are
Mm.
mostly similar to all online customer service systems.
Mm. Yes, correct. Good. And then?
Use the last one is user diversity. The system should cater different types of users regardless if they are novice or experienced users. For instance, the system should provide detailed information on how to contact the sales representatives so every user can easily understand how the system actually works.
Yes, correct. Good. Okay, so both Kelvin and Wong answer is very good lah because you all can put yourself in that situation and then you give the example based on the design principle. So actually, if you all see the suggested answer, this is just the guidance for us as a marker. But actually here, we this is the suggested answer. You all can see it is only getting the point, but how you get the marks letter is based on the marker discretion. So previously from Kelvin and Wong answer, I can give full mark for each of the point because you all give uh, you both gave me the good example that is actually ngam with the scenario. Okay, so yeah, for this questions, you all can see, right? In our slide, there's the three golden rules, and then after that, there are also UI design principle. So whenever they ask you here, like in the questions, right? It only asks about explain for user interface design principle. Okay, so it didn't specifically mention either it is a three golden rules or the UI design principle that we have learned in our chapter 8. So in this type of questions, you all can answer either you are following the three golden rules or the UI principle because actually it is having the same purpose, which is how to design a good user interface. Okay, so that's why the suggested answer here, it not only consisting all of the UI design principle from our slide, but it also you also can answer based on three golden rules. Okay, so uh, as long as you all can give example based on the scenario, then it can be accepted. But if you see the marks for that questions is higher, for example, 5, if it is just 3, you all can just give one point and then give example based on scenario. But maybe if the mark for that questions, for example, here I mean, for example, maybe if of each of the um, it asks here 4, right? And then the answer, the marks maybe 20. 20, it is a lot lah. So you can assume that 1 point have 5 marks. So in that type of marks, you should explain actually what is that point. For example, you are choosing user familiarity. First, you need to explain what is the user familiarity first. And then after that, baru you all give the example based on the scenario. So that can give you 5 marks. But for example, if it asks about 4 principle and then the marks is only 12. So that means you can choose whatever topic, not topic, principle, whatever 4 principles, and then the most important thing, give the answer based on the scenario. No need to explain that terms also can lah. But the good practice is always explain whatever point that you have answered and then give example. That is the best practice for every subjective questions like this. Okay, so we proceed to Farah. So Farah, yes, Farah, can you open your mic?
Hello, can you hear
Yes,
me?
Farah.
Okay. For the three golden rules. Wait, where's
Mm,
my okay? For the three golden rules. For Bert Junior, that we should apply that he should apply for his company. That is number one. Place the user in control because
mm,
people do not like to be controlled by the machine. So it's example like when they're doing something in uh, the system, they
mm-hmm,
want to know like every processes of what happens in the system. That's
mm-hmm,
why they don't like being controlled. So like everything like processing, loading screen,
mm,
yeah, something like that. So for the
mm-hmm,
second
yes.
part will be the reduce the user's memory load. People have limited short term of memory. So like make it more like easier lah, simpler user design, so that they can understand the user more and they can like remember it more. Less of the how to say the chart, no, the flow of the system. Make it
Mm,
more like first page is like three parts, and then second page more another two parts like that, so they can remember every part. Yeah.
mm,
So the third part will be the make the interface consistent. So this one is very important lah, so that the user can easy to learn and gain more knowledge from our system. And if it's consistent, that they can like for the next system, I think they can easily understand because of the previous system. Like, yes, it's related to the second part lah,
mm-hmm.
so they can remember everything. It's because of the consistency of the system. Yeah,
Mm. Okay.
that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Farrell. So I can see that you are explaining each of the golden rules. Okay, so if the question is asking terang-terang asking about three golden rules, then you all memang really need to explain about the three golden rules lah, because the questions is terang, obvious, terang lagi bersuluh orang bilang. Okay, so memang we all need to answer based on the three golden rules. But Farah question answer just now. It is good actually. You are explaining these three golden rules um, well, but it is not really when you give the example, it is not really using the scenario given in the questions. So for this, if for your answer, I cannot give full mark if usually it has a full marks lah. I mean, yeah, I cannot give full marks lah. Okay, Farah? Actually, your explanation is good. If you, for example, kan, if this questions four, it has 12, not 12, at 9 marks because one golden rules maybe it can give it will give you 3 marks, but based on your explanation just now, maybe I can just give you two marks for each of your golden rules, even though your explanation is very good, because I actually it is ngamla, it is not like whatever you put here in our chat, right? It is just the formal definition, but the explanation just now, is good because it is explaining what is each of these golden rules. But the weakness in that is because you didn't relate it in with this scenario. So I can, for example, if that each of the golden rules have 3 marks, then I can only give at most 2/3. So for example, you can give answer for the place the user in control. Then you said previously about the navigation or something that telling the progress of the system. If I'm not mistaken. So maybe you can give your example like here, for example. Okay, so for example, this question, this system is to manage the staff and customer informations. So maybe you can give the example, for example, when the system is recording or saving the information of new staff. Okay, so when the process of saving is still ongoing, then there must be a pop-up message that telling the the new record has been added, or saving, like there's a pop-up message that telling the record is now saving, has been saved, or something like that lah. Just tell the user what is happening, but you need to based on the scenario. Okay, Farah?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like when when the question asks about the scenario, you just think that, for example, here kan, it is a traveling agency, and then you see what is the function of the system, and then after that you imagine. So if you don't know that kind of system, what it usually used for, you can Google about that. Okay, for example, if the scenario is telling about some system in hotels, so maybe you need to search a little bit about the system in hotels so that you know what type of behavior that the system can usually do for its user, so that you know how to give the example lah. Okay, so we proceed with Celine. Celine is questions number 2. What are the 2 elements that? Okay, so Celine, can you please get open your mic?
Hello.
Yes.
The first one is data visualizer.
Mm-hmm.
Children aged 5 to 7 years may be more attracted to pictures or textual presentation and will understand them more easier than using words.
Mm.
And
Okay.
for colors, children aged 5 to 7 years old may prefer brighter colors because
Mm-hmm.
their eyes are not fully developed yet. So it's better to like put brighter and more colorful colors for them.
Yes, correct. Okay, so yes, correct. Celine answer is correct, and I that in with that type of answer, I can give full mark lah, because textual presentation is really not suitable for the children because they will lost interest. They will lost interest. Okay, so so this is a mobile game for children. So we really can do not children use textual presentation. So instead, we need to do, or we need to develop a game based on data visualization, which is by using icon, a lot of icon and diagram lah. Okay, so color also the same lah with what Celine answer. So they usually um, kids among this age, 5 until 7, they will be attracted to a lot of colors. So if you just give them only two colors, then they also will feels like they are usually can senang to lose interest. Okay, so but the game should be colorful, but color matching should be consistent. Don't use the color pairing like it is both. I mean, all of the color is too bright. Okay, so remember our slide last week, where when you use too bright color, we also can sakit mata, right? So the color matching should be ngam lah. If you have bright text, then please use the soft color as the background. Okay, so this is the suggested answer lah. Actually, so it is more or less similar with Celine answer you all can see here lah. Huh? Okay, so for example here, graphical presentation should be used for presenting information such as their marks and their ranking. And then after that, for the color, it should be colorful, like I said just now, but the color matching should be consistent, and the color pairing, you can use the combination that is easier to eyes lah. Okay, so for example, red represent danger, green represent environmental. Okay, so the suggested answer for Farah questions just now, it is just like whatever Farah have already answered lah, but this is not, this type of answer is just like I said just now, it is just for the marker punya guidance. The real answer is should be using your own words and then use your own example like what I have explained previously lah. Okay, so we proceed to questions number Jingming Lim. Questions number 1. Yes, Jingming Lim? Lim? Are you here? Are you? Oh, Jingming Lim. Yeah, Jingming Lim is here. Yes, Ming Lim.
So the first should be consistency.
Mm.
So the website is originally from online. So when it's developed to the mobile version, so it should be developed in the way that it consistent based on what the online website originally have. So meaning don't go beyond what the online website don't have. So the second one is the recoverability. So it allows user to recover from errors such as undo selected car model or cancel booking. So the next one is user guidance. So it is to provide help features and meaningful feedback when error occurs. So for example, the car is not available in your selected date or your booking is not successfully placed. Please try again. Something like that. So the next one is user familiarity. So it is the system should use terms and concepts which users are familiar with. So, for example, the car available table form, or even the place booking button naming, and also the make payment button naming should be very meaningful.
Okay, yes.
Easy to understand.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Finish, right?
Yeah, miss.
Okay, yes. Okay, so good. Jing Ming Lim answer also good because you give the example based on the scenario. So I can see that all of you here already can answer this kind of question. So I will be not too much worried about your exam letter lah. Okay, so just fairer lah, fairer practice more about how to understand the scenario and then give example on that kind
Okay.
of because I can see that you can understand actually, but you just didn't know how. Okay, so like I said just now, if you are not really sure about the scenario, you can Google a little bit. For example, for this questions number one, you can also see what kind of or mobile application for booking car, something like that lah, so that you know that what are the processes that usually that kind of system can have, so that you can give some example, use your imagination on how you are using that system. Okay, so yeah, good everyone. So now, before we proceed to our practical, I think we should have take 5 minutes break lah. 9:50 we come back again. Hi. Yeah, Russell. I noticed. I also noticed you. I just joined. So what happened to your phone? Oh, no ringtone or alarm if left overnight. So did you oversleep because no alarm? I can guess already lah. Because just now I also woke up at at 50 kah? Yeah, same. I also sleep at 3 3 something lah, 3 a.m. something last night. So that's why I also apa nasib baik my phone still working lah, the alarm. Oh, you already do the prototype for today assignment for this one, the user interface. Okay, good. Yeah. So yeah, actually you all, when you are this assignment, right? It doesn't mean that even though our practical is on Thursday every week, so don't start on Thursday. You all should start from if this week it is for user interface, and then we already cover that slide or that lecture, you all can start already. So don't wait for the practical for me to give what you should do and then what you shouldn't, because you already can see from our assignment lah, the assignment the assignment questions. Okay, so for this week, it is week 12. As you all can see here, you all need to design user interface prototype, and then you all can please choose principle that you want to implement in your user interface, and then explain it. And then you also need to prove in your user interface prototype that you have already implemented whatever principle that you have choose. Okay, so for example, if your group have 4 person, 4 member, then you all should give at least 4 principle. Okay, so 4 principle. Group, please. Okay, so I can see that every group here have five members. So all of you should explain one user interface principle. Isn't it separate design principle? Yeah. You can use, for example, like user familiarity, all of the principle too. Each of you please choose one. But your interface, you are all work in one group, right? But your interface, you should discuss because, for example, if you choose consistency and then you are all in one group, so make sure that your interface have that consistency lah. Jangan pula letter you all in one group, and then for example here, Wong, dia punya background is red. And then suddenly Noel, the background is green. So at least make each of that consistent because you all working on the same system. Five principle then can use one or more example from each person's module. For example, if one interface can explain more than one principle, then yes, as long as your user interface have that principle. For example, if you have five member in your group, and then you all have you all must choose five principle, right? But if um only three interface can explain that five principle, then yes, proceed. Meaning, even if you only have three interface, as long as you all can show that your system is supporting that principle. But at least I will ask at least the pages of your UI interface at least three lah. Okay. For example, the consistency. So I can see that from your interface 1 to 3, you have give some consistency. Okay, because to show the consistency, you may put the same button at the same position, the color also the same. So you are free to use any tools that you are familiar. Tools, or you can develop it using no lah, because because you are bachelor already, so you all need to create your own interface. Don't use any yang tools like Design Edit or Wix. Don't use that. Because you are all already in bachelor, so you already learn about some of the front end interface design, right? For example, at least you all have learned about HTML, right? Or Java. Figma. Figma is drag and drop ka? Because I never use Figma ba? Oh, designing prototype. Okay lah. Because these questions also, it didn't make it really compulsory here. If you all read these questions, it didn't really make to I mean, they didn't really highlight to use either to use programming language, right? Yeah. So yeah lah, I can accept lah, because the question also only use could. Could meaning to say that it is not, if it is used this, if they are using you must use any language you are familiar. Okay, so then no choice lah. For this, yeah, we just need screenshot of the pages. It doesn't really need, for example, if you have three modules in your system, you don't need to really put, three interface is module 1, module 2, module 3. No, as long as the interface can be belongs relevantly. The interface is relevant to your system and it support the principle that you want to explain. Yeah, could be homepage, contact us, but it's better lah. Don't just use the very general page like contact us, homepage. Can lah one, but at least, for example, just choose one function that is really specific to your system. Yes, yes. Don't all use all of the contact us, all of the apa tu yang general punya pages, don't lah. If you use maybe one homepage and then the two interface maybe showing some specific interface in your system. Yeah. Okay, so Russell, Miss, mine is like news module, right? So do I have to put dummy news article? Yes, you need to put a dummy news article. Okay, Russell? Dummy grades, yes. Make the interface is really like belongs to your proposed system. Make everyone fair. So TLDR 5 group member come out with one principle. Yes. If you have more than three interface, okay lah. Okay also, but for me, at least 3 interface, at least. You all know what? Your diploma student, your junior, they all use like they didn't use Figma lah. They use something like, I forgot, Design AD or some of them are using Wix also lah. But I didn't restrict them what tools they can use. But some of them are really come out with not only 3 interface but the whole system. Each principal cannot use other modules page as example. Others can. Can. Like I said, you can use should be the 5 principle included in the 3 interface. You mean each of the interface supporting the 5 principle? No, because like I said, kan, as long as you for example each of the principle kan, like I give example. What is the okay? So for here for this. Okay, so for example, for this, yeah, for this for example, here this one lah, all of this you have chose to include it in your interface. In your user interface, and then you all can see here. For example, here consistency, user familiarity, maybe can use the same interface. So you need to explain what is each of this principle, what is consistency, what is minimal surprise. Okay, so and then after that, based on your system, you explain, maybe you have one interface that is having navigation, and then also the terms, all of the terms used in that interface are familiar to the user. So you can use the same interface to explain about the user familiarity, because in your explanation you said that all of the terms are familiar with, let's say, familiar with the kids. Okay, if your system maybe for the kids. Okay, so the the terms are familiar with kids, and then after that, it has consistency. So for the consistency, I think the consistency, at least you should use two interface, because you cannot show a consistency without showing two interface, right? For consistency. And then minimal surprise, it is based on your creativity lah, how you explain this minimal surprise lah. But if you choose whatever principle that you can best explain, you can explain the best. Okay, so like I said just now, for example, recoverability and user guidance. Okay, maybe in your interface you have some links, or you are showing there's a help button, and then you are showing some dialog box or error message that can support recoverability and user guidance at one, by using only one page, then okay. Understand ka? So in short, you can use the same interface to explain 5 principles. Yes. But your explanation, kasih bagus-bagus lah. Don't use my words lah just now. Explain like how you all usually answer the questions based on the scenario. Like just now, what we have discussed in our tutorial, I can see that a lot of you are already can explain based on the scenario or the system given. So in your assignment, you all also need to answer like that and better. Should explain more. No. One student, one principal. But like I said just now, you need to explain. You all need really explain that principle lah. First, choose the principle. Second, explain what is that principle in general, and then after that, the third, give example based on the interface that you have created, which part you implemented that principle. Okay, so I can say that one student, maybe one paragraph of explaining each of the principle. But each of the principle must refer to a user interface lah. So even though you are using the same interface, okay, at least maybe you in your explanation as in a figure 1.1, so this interface is implementing consistency, and then for example, consistency lah. Okay, so you all explain by referring to figure 1.1 and 1.2, we all there's a consistency in that. Okay, for example, the button is located at the same place, and then the color is all consistent. Report there, provide screenshot, for example, of our interface offering. Yes. So in this section, you all will need to include the screenshot of the UI that fulfilling the principle. So if one principle may need to use do two UI, then you need to also put the two UI. For example, the consistency lah, because I think consistency memang you all need to use to more than one interface, because consistency cannot be shown without more than one um, interface. Okay, so any more questions? Remember, like I said just now, first choose the choose the principle, like you may put a consistency, and then after that explain what is that consistency, and then after that the one that you really need to explain in detail is how you implement that in your interface. What are the part or component inside the interface that is fulfilling that principle? So that one is the most, I mean, it will carry a lot of, give you a lot of marks lah. Your example, how you explain that principle based on your UI. So any other questions? Jonathan, yes, you said just now you want to ask about the test plan. Okay, wait let me open the Google. Yeah. It's better. Share your screen.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay, so for now, our test plan it's not completed yet, but more or less like this so this is the front page, very basic TLC, table contents, and then introduction. So here we just briefly describe what we'll be doing, like the process, what are the objectives, what is this test plan to conduct. Like, let's go approach like that. Process. If we don't need to include every of the process, right? Like here, we should have a subsystem, but we don't have any subsystem because we can just directly combine module into system. So do we need to include all of the testing phases, or we can just customize it to our own scenario like that?
So module testing is you remember, module is the collection of related individual component. So as you said here, perform to test the collection of individual components that are performed in unit testing. So it will be test the functionality of the group, component, or separate modules. For instance, all function of the supplier module will be tested together. Yes, you can answer like this, but you should give an example of functions, at least two. You said here supplier module, right? So what are the individual functions that you all think should be included in the supplier module? Yes, like this. So in your unit testing also, you need to yang this one already you have lah, like for example add customer, delete product, yes. And then the subsystem, you don't have any subsystem kah?
I mean, we can just combine it to a system like that.
Because this system testing, meaning you are testing the whole system, meaning all of the subsystem is already there lah. But yeah, because not all system not should have subsystem and module, because if your system is not big enough, then I think a module testing also enough already lah. If you
Mm.
don't have
Yeah, that's
subsystem,
why
right?
yeah, that's why we remove the subsystem because we already have a module, so we can just
Ah,
integrate everything into one system. But so
mm.
can we
So
do like
you,
customize? I mean, customize the phases. We don't need to include subsystem like that.
yeah, yeah, can.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so all of the group also the same, because usually only a big system that really have each of these um, apa tu, the hierarchy. Because some of the small system they don't have subsystem, they just have a smaller module, right? So yeah, if your system is don't have subsystem, you can directly go to the module lah.
Okay.
Mm.
So this is the testing process lah. Basically
Mm-hmm.
it's like this. Next is tested items. So here we just state like what will be tested lah. Basically this one is referring to our test cases later.
Mm.
So this one you just explain. Next week we touch on more lah on our presentation.
Mm.
This procedure we just state like what will be the procedure lah. So we'll be using like test cases to test like the unit testing, module testing, system testing, and so forth lah. So do we
Mm.
need to add anything else?
Okay, wait ah. Let me check again because I forgot already about this testing. Okay, so you all will need to do also put testing procedure. Okay, so in our slide, let me check again. Is there anything about the procedure? Wait, Russell, I saw that you are asking something, but one by one. So the other group, you also can pay attention to what we have discussed so that um, you all can implement it in your system lah. Uh, testing schedule, testing procedure. Okay, right. So what was your questions previously, Ian?
uh,
Is it
I
now
mean,
like this or not?
I mean like do we need to add anything else for the procedure? I mean, we just say the most important thing is that we'll be using test cases to run through all our process, ma. Like let's say like unit testing, we just do it one by one. A module then will be like something like this by module, and then system we just go through the overall system by using also the same test cases lah. But then other than that, do we need to add anything else? I mean, anything to take note like that.
So you are using the same procedure to run all of the stages just now lah, right? You mean by
Yeah,
just
something like
preparing test
test cases.
case, yeah.
Uh,
Each of that individual function, it has its own test case, and then after that you will yeah, you will create another test case for another stages of testing, right?
hmm.
Okay, so yes, you can put you can only stick with this lah. No need to be so detailed. As long as this is memang the procedure that you will do for all.
Okay. Schedule, I will be doing like a
Gantt chart.
assumption Gantt chart lah. We just
Yeah.
make our assumptions like that.
Yeah. But
We,
it must be tally with your Gantt chart in your original plan lah. If you put in your previous Gantt chart, you put for testing is for 2 weeks. So make sure your Gantt chart here also only 2 weeks.
okay. But we have like a separate testing phases. So say like in our module functions, remember we are using our RAD, so we divided the modules into separate sections. Kan? Inside the modules, they have like their own specific unit and module testing. So that it will be operating concurrently. Yeah. After that, the overall system is integrated or combined. Then it will go through a system testing once again with the system testing. But since we are doing like in 2 different times, so do we need to have 2 different Gantt charts for the schedule? Like this, we have a module function testing, and then we have a system and acceptance. So it's kind of like separated. So do we need to have 2 Gantt charts for each? Or we can just combine it, but the date will be separated.
Combine it, but the debt should be separated lah. Meaning it should be it must follow the real debt that you have provided in your first Gantt chart lah.
So maybe at the Microsoft project there we have like 2 separate things like started different date like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But use one Gantt chart for your testing plan ni lah, just to show your testing punya schedule.
Okay. So that's schedule lah. We will do it later. Requirements. For now we only have a hardware and software that we have specified lah. What do we need to use for running the testing? We might add another testing environment and the resources for the requirement lah. So do we need to have any other things that we need to take note for requirement?
Based on our slide, I think it should cover software, hardware. It also need to cover the environment. I think only this lah. All of this hardware, software, testing environment, like what is the OS need to be used, and then how many tester, how many user.
So this one we also we separate into two different parts. Like here we only have like separate testers for each module, and then all testers, and then for the owner for acceptance. Is it for the testing resources?
But you don't need to put it in like, for example, 2 separate table. If you are using a table to show this. For example, you want to put that hardware, software, and then first is for module, and then second is for system and acceptance testing. No need, because you
Mm.
can put all of that in one table. Just put another column, it is for which function, or for example for module function, and then after that it is for the system or acceptance testing, and then who is the user, and then what is the hardware. Okay, you can just put all of this requirement in one table.
Okay. All right. Constraints. For now, we only have a constraint is that the time we don't have like an exact time taken, the required time. So we can just like make like pure assumptions, like 1 week for the unit and module, and another week for the system acceptance, like that.
Yeah, because that was well, that was in your first gun chat, right? Then
Yeah.
you have to follow that. Yes.
So we just do we need to have take note of any other constraints other than the time cap? Or maybe we have like sufficient resources like that.
You may say that, for example, um, the testing environment that is best your system can operate. For example, you can only say here that this system is best to be operated using Chrome what version and until what version. So you may say that like different from that environment, you, macam you all cannot guarantee lah it can perfect well, because the system is memang meant for the macam latest punya version, Chrome version or OS version.
So
Okay,
maybe
so
we just say like we only can how do you say this? The
that's
system we only can operate in Windows
yeah,
like 7, 8 or
yeah,
10 like that lah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because
Maybe we can
later
maybe
people use another version, and then the what the output is not similar with what you have all used to test the system previously, kan? So you all have the proof that you already said that this system only best operated using what version, what OS, what resources. Okay, so when they do something, you they will need to follow your resources punya constraint tu lah, like what the OS apa semua.
okay. And then the test cases, basically it's more or less like that, like what Miss has showed us last week, like this. This one we cover next week, but then more or less, this is our test plan, lah.
Yeah, but the test date you should put the date also lah. Make sure it is within the date that you have scheduled. Test date too in your test case. You have you make it blank, right? The test date.
Oh, this one.
Ah,
Okay.
yes. Make sure it is within the testing phase lah.
So this one we should be inside the 1 week of testing for each module, something
Yeah.
like that. So we put
Based on its relevancy lah.
so we put like a period of the week like that. Okay.
Period of the week, or maybe the exact time, the exact date.
Exact time, exact date. Okay.
Time no need lah, just that.
Exact date. But then will it be weird to like fix the test date on that specific date, since we have like 1 week to conduct the testing like that? I mean, we could like test this test cases like once a day. Like maybe like the first one is okay, but the second one is has some errors, so it can be corrected again, and then they will run these test cases all over again. But so I think if we can maybe put a range would be better.
Yeah, okay lah. Put the range lah. You have give me a valid relevance lah. Yeah.
Okay.
Arrange lah. But usually last time, because when we do UAT with the what with the real user, we will put our exact that lah,
Mm,
because we need to, because not all modules will require all of the end user. Some of the module only will require some type of end user, so that's why we put the that, so that the end user will be available on that time. So that, but for
mm,
this one, yeah, because we also like what you have give me just now lah,
mm,
your relevancy.
mm. But so do we need to specify like this is for module testing phase like that? Because maybe if we didn't say like module, right, maybe this one could be system, but this is not system actually, this is like by module. But so do we need to specify like this is
Module,
module
yes,
testing?
yes.
Mm, okay. Yeah, then basically it's like that our test plan.
Mm.
All right.
Okay, so I will
Yeah.
see Russell questions. For
Okay.
module testing, how many example functions and how many example modules? Example of functions and example of modules. So this one, at least for the module, right? Module testing just now, like in the testing process, Benny, right? Russell, you are asking in the under the testing process, and there's the module testing, right? You are referring to that, Russell? Okay, so as long as you can give me more than one module, the example, like what Jonathan just did just now, as at least two, because a module is collection of more than one individual component, right? So at least two, because modules meaning there is more than one module. Just give the example, like what Ian just did just now. Okay, Russell? For example, just now, Ian, can you please show me the module testing again, the
Oh, sure.
explanation? Okay, so this one. Okay, so in the, for example, he said that in the supplier module, um, these are the functions that will need to be tested. So as long as I can see that all of the functions are actually relevant to be grouped in one module together, then okay. So here, like what Ian did, add new supplier, update supplier, delete all of the CRUD punya operation for that supplier. Yes, it can be become in one module.
Mm.
Okay, Russell?
Oh, Miss, so do we just put inside this entire test plan into our final report, or we include it
Um,
as another file like that?
yeah, you need to include it as another file. And then in your assignment under this, in your report, right? So you will have part 3 and then part 3 too lah. You can say that we have provided a test plan for this, and then that test plan is can be referred in appendix something, and then
We put it at
as
the end
attached lah.
of the
Yeah.
appendix. Oh,
Mm.
okay. Okay, so put it at appendix, and then we just say a test plan is something something. Refer
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
appendix.
Yeah. And then test case also you can, because the 9.0 is about test plan and test case, right? So just explain about that a little bit, and then you can say that the it can be referred to appendix what lah. Okay, for the other group, uh, make sure whatever that we have discussed here, you all take into consideration, because I will not check your test plan each, but one by one, whatever you have submitted, because it is like I'm already marking. So uh, take into consideration all of my comment during this discussion. So because this is not only applicable to Ian's group, but it is also applicable to all of the groups. Okay, so do you all have any questions? And then I want to highlight, I don't know why the CC is asking for all of you to submit the assignment must be Monday. And then 13 September. And then 5 p.m. Maybe,
Meaning
maybe,
Monday,
yeah, Monday.
next
So,
Monday. Okay.
yeah. So this is a common paper. So it is not me who designed all of this. Okay, so because I think it is a standard because it is similar with all of the branches, so I cannot make my own decision. For me, if I am the CC, I can give you all time up until at the end of week 13 lah. But the CC, maybe we will need to discuss some of the things that is must be standard across all of the branch. So I'm not sure what the CC's plans actually. So yeah, but you all need to submit that not presentation, the assignment on Monday next week. And then after that, baru we all do the presentation on Thursday lah. But you all need to submit all of the your complete report on Monday. But we do presentation um, on Thursday. Okay? I have announced to all of you. Maybe because of course lah. Because we all know, right? All of the lecturer will need to give feedback. So that's why it's easier if you all can give me the lecturer earlier lah. Because we also need to mark, check. Okay, so that's a lot of task lah. That's why it is ngam lah to be submitted earlier. And then this assignment no need to submit to turn it in. No need to submit to turn it in, but instead you all just need to put or to fill in the plagiarism policy lah in the form 2, like it says here. Students are required to and then you need to compile with the Tiartariusi plagiarism policy, and then you all need to sign this in form 2. This form 2 is your statement that you did not plagiarize from any source lah. Okay, so no need to turn it in. Okay, so all, if you don't have any questions, you all can start not start lah. I mean, you can continue to do the user interface. And then I will still here up until 11 a.m. to answer any of your questions. So use this time to answer, to ask if you have any questions regarding the assignment, because only this time I can focus on checking, because if it is outside this time, I maybe have another class, I maybe have another meeting, so your answer will be delayed lah. The answer for your questions will be delayed. Okay, so use this time if you have any questions. Yes?
Miss, can you assign Daniel and my group to a breakout room so we can discuss easier?
Okay. So you all don't want to use the Discord
It's
Discord?
easier since you're already here already.
Okay. So how about the other group? Do you all also want to me to give you all breakout room? I give all lah breakout rooms. Noel is not here though, today. Oh. So your Shak, Nathan, Lim, Wong, please inform your leader. Lim. Eh?
Miss, my room.
You you don't have room. Yeah, wait Without room. Elvin should be in group 3.
Jonathan Group.
Yeah, yeah. Wait edit room. Sorry, because yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah, right? Elvin. Okay.